You bring something up that's bothering you and your partner shuts down. You ask how they're feeling after a really tough day at work and they say, I'm fine. You feel like you're trying to get closer, but it only feels like they're just pulling away. If that sounds familiar, you might be in a relationship with somebody who has an avoidant attachment style. And this dynamic can be really painful for both partners, but it doesn't mean that the relationship is doomed. It just means that you need a different kind of approach and understanding to create a more securely attached relationship, and that is possible. I have seen it many times. So let's talk about how to connect with an avoidant partner in a way that actually works. But before we get into it, hi there, I'm Lauren Consul. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified sex therapist, here to help you have more satisfying and secure sex and relationships. The first thing we want to do is understand where avoidant attachment comes from. So avoidant attachment typically forms early in life when somebody learns that emotional vulnerability is not welcomed or safe. So they adapt. This is an adaptive strategy by becoming self-reliant. And so because of this, they may fear being overwhelmed by somebody else, controlled, or engulfed by a relationship. And it's not that they don't have deep feelings, they definitely do. It's just that they were taught to suppress, downplay, or dismiss those feelings in order to stay safe. And so now they may struggle to access and express them in present time because their brain's going, that's not safe to do. Now, this doesn't make them bad or broken. It makes them human, a human who adapted to their environment by avoiding closeness, not because they don't care, but because it once was safer to disconnect. Number 2, you want to invite, not chase. Now, people with an avoidant attachment style tend to pull away when they feel pressure, emotional intensity, or demand. So instead of chasing, invite. So chasing would sound like you never open up. Just tell me what you're feeling. You can feel that intensity. So instead, you might want to try something like, I really want to understand what's going on for you. No pressure. I'm here when you're ready to talk. Now, you can also reduce emotional intensity by having emotional conversations where you don't have direct eye contact, where your bodies aren't facing each other, because that can feel really emotionally intense. So you might do this while you're walking or driving or cooking or drawing together, because it gives you something else that you're kind of bringing into the element while still having this conversation to reduce that emotional intensity. And this really helps create emotional space rather than pressure. And when their nervous system relaxes in that way, connection can become more possible. It's opening up the opportunity for it. The third thing you want to do is name the pattern, not the person. When your partner shuts down, it's easy to say, you're so cold, you don't care, you're this, you're that, or whatever it is. But that just reinforces their fear of being criticized or not good enough, or that emotions aren't safe. So you don't want to reinforce that. Instead, you want to talk about the pattern and something that you're both stuck in, because you are. You guys are both part of this pattern. It's not just your partner's fault. It's not just your fault. It's both of you. So instead, you might want to try, I've noticed that when I bring something up that's emotional, you tend to get quiet. And then I start to push. And I don't think that feels good for either of us. Can we talk about how we get stuck? So see here that is about you guys together against the issue rather than you against them. The fourth thing you want to do is lead with emotional safety. People with an avoidant attachment style really need emotional safety, and a lot of it to open up. So that means not analyzing their feelings mid-sentence, letting silence be okay, not turning every vulnerable moment into a deep therapy session, not interrupting when they speak. So saying things like, thanks for sharing that. I know that's not easy for you. Or you don't have to explain everything right now. I'm just glad that you're here with me and you shared that. They need to know that the emotional risk won't be met with pressure or judgment, which is what they learned way back when and why they started to avoid these deep feelings. Number 5, respect their need for space, but contain it. So what I mean by that is oftentimes people with an avoidant attachment style need more time to process, and usually alone. But if you have an anxious attachment style, that can feel like rejection or abandonment. So we want to create containment for both of you, where you're honoring both of your different attachment styles and needs. So this might sound like, if your partner's needing space, you saying something like, if you need space, that is okay. Could we check back in after dinner or tomorrow morning? And that way I'm not left hanging and you get the time you need. This is what I call containment, because it allows containment for both partners, the one to take space and the one who's anxious about it, knowing when you're going to come back together. Now, it's really important if you do this to then come back at the time you agreed on. And even if you aren't ready or your partner's not ready to talk then, to then set a new time so you're not just left wondering, is this going to happen? Because it's easy to set this. It can be like, okay, we're going to come back this tomorrow and then not come back to it. That's the key, is coming back to it. Number 6, own your part of the cycle. In an anxious avoidant dynamic, there's a push-pull cycle. The more one partner pushes, the more the other one withdraws. And it's important to recognize that this is something that you both contribute to. It's not one of your faults or one of you's broken or one of you needs to be fixed, because you are in a relationship and you both contribute to this dynamic. And when you make that shift in thinking, it puts you guys on the same team to resolve this together, and it decriminalizes it, meaning that neither of you is the wrong person, that you both contribute to this cycle. So really looking at, how do I show up in this cycle? What are my triggers? How do I respond? What are my worries? Where do I need reassurance and soothing? Now, lastly, I want to say that while these strategies can be really powerful, they're not about one partner doing all these things to fix the other partner. You guys are in a relationship and both people need to show up. These strategies are for somebody who is in a relationship with an avoidant partner who is wanting to do the work, because you guys have to do the work together. You guys both contribute to this, and that's how you create a more secure, attached relationship. So you guys have to look at this and be in it together. Now, I'm curious, are you guys in a relationship like this? If so, leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear what resonates most with you, or if you guys have any questions. And if you guys want more content on how to have more satisfying and secure sex and relationships, be sure to subscribe.